I would like to introduce our first speaker for this afternoon, Paul Sarnese. Each year, we have held focus on healthcare security. We have hosted the sitting president of IAHSS, so we're very pleased that Paul is able to join us today. Paul Sarnese is the Assistant Vice President of Safety, Security, and Emergency Preparedness for Virtua Health, serving Southern New Jersey. Paul has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Rowan University and a master's degree in safety engineering from Warren University. He also has a master's in administrative science from Farley Dickinson University. Paul is a certified healthcare protection administrator and a certified associate project manager. Paul is also the president for the IAHSS Board of Directors. Please welcome today, Paul Sarnese.
Thank you, Neil, and thank you for this opportunity to join this outstanding group. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am so honored and thrilled to join this event focused on healthcare security in Canada. As we all know, these last 21 months have certainly provided our industry and our profession yet again another opportunity to demonstrate the value and the incredible impact we have on the organizations we serve as well as the communities we serve. We not only continue to support our organizations during the first wave and the second wave and now the third wave, but we also supported vaccination clinics and testing sites, all this in the middle of running 24/7 operations. We also did this in the midst of some of the worst labor shortages we've seen in years, which meant that we had to do more with less, and sometimes we just had to kind of figure things out on the fly. Each and every one of you here epitomizes the theme of our healthcare security and safety week that we had a couple of weeks ago, and the theme was courage, resiliency, and professionalism. And courage, as we all know, is defined as not being deterred by danger. This meant we had to show up every day for work, even knowing what the potential risks were. We had to enforce rules and regulations that not everybody was supportive of. We had to restrict visitors. We had to do some things that were not in our typical daily lives. And we had to show courage. Every day we showed courage by showing up. We did the right thing, even when it was unpopular. And moral courage is doing the right thing when nobody's looking. And we certainly epitomize that. Resiliency is defined as being able to withstand or recover quickly from a difficult condition, being able to recoil and bounce back. We demonstrated resiliency when we started to open up our facilities and try to reactivate to the pre-COVID normal. And again, that was not an easy task because we were still doing more with less, and we were really kind of navigating some uncharted territory. And we faced all these challenges with, I'll figure it out. We got this, I'll figure it out. And professional, that's being engaged or qualified in a specific professional. And we emulate professionalism every day by the way we compose ourselves, by the way we wear our uniforms, by the way we interact with others. And we do this also by investing time and energy in our personal and professional development, and by supporting the goals of our organization. I'm sure many of you are aware of an Inukshuk. Jeff Young introduced me, and Martin reinforced, and Brian was also reinforcing what an Inukshuk is. I fell in love with an Inukshuk and the concept of the Inukshuk, and I actually built one in my backyard. I'll have to show you some photos of it one day. But an Inukshuk represents the concept of guidance and unity and providing a path for others. Inukshuk is also a permanent mark on the earth. And it provides a path at the same time. This association, as you all know, has so much to offer our safety, security, and emergency management professionals. Our association, IAHSS, provides us with the path and provides us with the guidance, along with the resources to make our permanent mark in our profession and in the organizations that we serve. As you all know, we provide education through free webinars, and that's on the hottest topics that are challenging all of us today. We also, as many of you know, we just wrapped up a hugely successful annual conference and exhibit in Myrtle Beach, highly attended. And those presentations that were provided provided real solutions to the real problems that we're facing today. We also have some really active shared interest groups on topics that impact many of us. Topics like women in security, canines in security, body-worn cameras, and long-term care facilities. So if you're interested in joining any of these groups, you're going to find it very worthwhile because you're talking to colleagues that are going through the same thing that you are, and really exchanging best practices successes, and sometimes even failures, because we learn mostly from our failures. We also, as you know, offer some great training for our staff. We offer the basic and the advanced training for our security officers. We have a supervisor certification program. There's a specific certification in healthcare safety. And I know many organizations require their hospital safety officers to have that certificate. And of course, we offer the Covenant Certified Healthcare Protection Administrator designation, which is the highest designation that you can get in healthcare safety and security and emergency management. And we're really excited. We just rolled out a new certificate program for workplace violence. It's going to be a 2-day course. We put the announcement out that it was available, and in minutes it's sold out. So we have courses that are scheduled all the way through to February. But this 2-day course is really going to provide us with the tools and resources to develop and sustain a successful workplace violence prevention program. You're all familiar with our industry guidelines. I mean, these are the proven best practices for managing the programs within our facilities. We recently just drafted a executive protection guideline, really looking for some more feedback on that. But this is how we protect those high profile individuals in our organizations, those that are in the C-suite. And if you do a quick Google search, you'll see that some of our COOs and leaders have been the victims of targeting because of their high profile positions. Our facility guidelines continue to be tweaked and developed. You know, we collaborate with FGI and other like-minded organizations to make sure that we provide tools to architects and designers and facility teams and those that are in the midst of planning a construction or renovation project. The guidelines take the concept of crime prevention through environmental design and the best practices that we're aware of that we discover from throughout the world. We incorporate those as well into those design guidelines so that we're designing the best facilities we can. We're continuing to grow our membership. We have some really cool, exciting calls with our colleagues in Kenya, but we're growing our membership and our CHPAs as well in Latin America, in Africa, and in Asia. So we're going to continue to grow our membership. And we're actually in the midst of looking at our membership categories to make sure that we're inclusive. As we all know, healthcare is changing. It's changing from the 4 walls of our facilities to the retail pharmacies, to the medical marijuana dispensaries, to the big box stores. Well, we want to make sure that we're the source of truth and we're the resource that is looked at to support all of those industries, all of those fields that are really maintaining individuals' health and wellness. So more to come on that in 2022. During COVID in 2020, we lost a lot of members. Obviously, we lost about 200 members, and we're slowly but steadily continuing to increase in those numbers. And thank you for all your support and how much you continue to spread the word about the benefits of this association. And that's how we do this. We do it organically through showing the value of membership in this organization. Our collaborations with other like-minded organizations also is continuing. You know, this year we joined the International Hospital Federation, and we had an opportunity to present at the World Health Conference, the World Hospital Conference in Barcelona, Spain, a couple of weeks ago. But we're continuing to work with FGI, the American Hospital Association, the Canadian Healthcare Engineering Society, as is all of those organizations that have very similar missions, and we can cross-pollinate each other, and we can certainly support each other. In the next couple of weeks, we have an announcement coming out about our memorandum of understanding that we just signed with the National Association for Healthcare Security out of the United Kingdom. So again, we're 2 very like-minded organizations that can support the overall healthcare infrastructure throughout the world. So there's some really exciting things in the works. In 2022, we will be welcoming some new members to our board. Connie Packard was elected as our president-elect. Dan Yaros will be our vice president and treasurer. And Ashley Ditta out of Boston will be our new member at large. I have a lot of mixed emotions about today because today's actually one of my last official speaking engagements as the president of this outstanding organization. Over the next couple of weeks, I'll be handing the gavel over to your fellow Canadian, Brian Hamilton. And I couldn't be more thrilled for Brian as well as the association. I told him when he was elected that I said I was really excited about the ability to be the president of this association, but I'm much more excited about his opportunity, because Brian obviously can open up a million doors. He has opened up a million doors for the organization with the way he interacts with others through social media, and just I could not be more excited for Brian, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to swear him in the next couple of weeks. We will be meeting as an organization, or as a board, I should say, in the next couple of weeks to look at our strategic plan. You know, like most organizations, we start with the SWOT analysis. We look at our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our thefts, or our threats. And one of the things that we really are going to have a lot of dialogue on is how do we continue to recruit and retain individuals in this profession. In the U.S., we're struggling. We're struggling with labor like we've never had before. So we believe that we as an association could have some really positive, impactful initiatives to help to, again, to attract and retain individuals to this worthwhile, impactful, purposeful profession that we all love. So Neil, I want to thank you and Canadian Healthcare, or Canadian Security Magazine, for this opportunity to join this group. I thank you for your time and attention, and just know that we as an association are here to support you to be successful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Paul. Thank you for that welcome message. We have a couple of minutes for questions for Paul. So if you would like to record a question for Paul, there should be a Q&A tab that you can do that in, and we'll get to those as soon as we can. I'll just give everybody a couple of seconds. Okay, Paul, first question for you. Has IAHSS adjusted best practices at all following the pandemic?
Absolutely, great question. Yeah, absolutely. As soon as the pandemic hit, we started doing things different. I mean, everything transitioned obviously to more virtual learning, and Roy Williams, the past president, was hosting some quarterly virtual chats, which were really cool to open up the lines of communication. But yeah, I was really proud of how the association responded. I mean, we put together some guidelines pretty quickly. We put together a guideline on communicable diseases and security's role in supporting the organization's response. We put together a guideline on securing ambulatory care sites, as well as sharing a lot of information. As you recall, when the vaccines first became available, there was a lot of concern about the security of the vaccines. So we were sharing the best practices that were provided to us. You know, we did a lot of conversations, and a lot of sharing of information about securing vital property. And we did publish a guideline on how to secure those critical assets. And you know, critical assets could have been vaccine at one point, or respirators at another point, or ventilators. But the association was adapting as we had to provide our members with the resources they needed at the time of when we were going through the initial wave of the pandemic.
Okay, thanks, Paul.
You're welcome.
Audience question about the restraint process. If the restraint process involves both clinicians and security, why is it so difficult?
That's a tough question to answer. Restraints, mechanical restraints, I'm assuming, certainly it has to be a collaboration between the clinical team and the security team. Ultimately, the clinical team is responsible for the care and welfare of the patient. We are not licensed professionals. We don't have medical malpractice insurance. So there has to be really clear communication in the organization as to what security's role is. Some organizations I know say security does not apply restraints. Others say security holds the individual down, while others apply restraints. Some say, well, our security officers are competent. They go through the same training. Why can't they put restraints on? So it's really determined by the culture of the organization, but the collaboration, it's paramount, so that nobody gets hurt, including the staff nor the patients.
We have time for maybe one more question. Will IAHSS continue to hold virtual events in the future?
Great question. Yeah, absolutely. They're awesome. I think everybody's certainly adapted and accepted them pretty quickly. We're going to continue to do hybrid, most likely, so that if there's an opportunity for in-person instruction, we'll do that. But we're an international association, so time zones are a challenge, and so we have to continue to offer that virtual opportunity, because we have members in Asia, Africa, Europe. So yes, we're going to Australia. We're going to continue to have to do that.
Okay, great. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Paul.
My pleasure.
Great thing about virtual events is we can beam people in from pretty much anywhere in the world. So we're very grateful that you joined us, and we appreciate all the support.
My pleasure. Thank you.